Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Actually It's Amira, where I talk news, celebrity gossip, hot topics. These YouTube streets, you name it, I talk about it. Why? Because that's what I like to do. If you came here today, it's because you are interested in hearing my perspective on what I think about the case Nene Leaks has against Bravo, TV, True Entertainment, and all those other parties listed in the lawsuit. So the question is, does Nene have a claim? And we're definitely going to get into my perspective. Now, please be reminded that everything I say here on this channel is just that my opinion. Everything is allegedly because I do not know these people and I wasn't at none of these tables. But that's not going to stop me from giving you what otherwise would be what I think is an unbiased opinion and a legit perspective on where we go from here. Hi, Red Lipstick Hustler. Thanks for checking into the live. I appreciate the support and you coming through to say hey on this good Sunday. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about Nene and her case, and there's a few things I do want to discuss. And so, I'm going to give Nene her credit where her credit is due. And I do think there are some areas in which Nene's credit is 100% due. And that comes in breaking season 1 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, breaking it with Kim Zolciak. At the time, Kim Zolciak, thank you so much for enjoying, who at the time, both of those ladies were really a nobody. They were both nobodies. I mean, let's call a thing a thing. They came to the television airwaves sort of like Lucy and Ethel. Like, they came through and everybody was here for Kim and Nene. They were Bonnie and Clyde. They made that show together. Those two ladies made that show what it was. Now, I'll give Nene the credit because she introduced Bravo to Kim Zolciak. She told Bravo, hey, I got this girl. She's my friend. She's white. I know you were pitching this as an all black show, but you got to meet this woman. She is a riot. And it did not disappoint. Neither Kim nor Nene disappointed with their commentary, with their reads, with their antics. It was must see TV. So I'm going to give Nene her credit where her credit is due. Now, when it comes to the case at hand, Nene is alleging that Bravo is racist, that they allowed for a hostile and flagrant work environment, that she was cheated out of opportunities as a result of this ongoing racism, etc., and so forth. And I have got to say that Nene, your case is a day late and a dollar damn short. And here's why. When you sign up to go on these reality television shows, and I'm gonna have a little bit of empathy for Nene, because when she was initially approached by Bravo, I'm sure Nene didn't have a manager, Nene didn't have a good lawyer, Nene didn't have a financial advisor, she did not have a contract attorney to help her negotiate the specifics of that case, of her contract. She was basically getting an opportunity from a network out of the blue, and they were handing her something on somewhat of a silver platter. So, of course, she's going to take the best deal that she can get. It wasn't until, in my opinion, that this show really started to take off and turn that viewership, that Nene got leverage, and so did Kim. But Nene has to realize that as a Black woman going into a multi-million dollar, hundreds of million dollar corporation as a Black woman, you have to present yourself a certain kind of way in order to be respected for your seat at the table. Because while you're thinking in your mind as Nene, I helped to break this show, I helped to pioneer this show, Bravo is thinking that we picked you up, and I'm being real here. They're probably thinking we picked you up out of the middle of nowhere, Georgia, Duluth, and we gave you an opportunity to run with. Now, whether or not you are able to leverage that opportunity and get people to take you seriously is totally up to you. So, Nene, I know you're upset that you did not get a spinoff. I know you are upset that Kandi got a show before you. Kim got a show before you. Everybody was getting these spinoffs before you, even though you were the trailblazer of this entire enterprise. But what is the reason why, Nene? That's what we need to address. And if you ask me as a spectator, my reason why is I don't think Nene ever had the infrastructure in place to present herself as talent deemed worthy of further investment outside of hush money. And when I say hush money, I don't mean they was paying her off. I mean, literally, they were like, listen, we'll give you $1 million for this season. For sure. We recognize that you bring the drama. We recognize that you bring the heat. We recognize that you bring the views. So we going to pay you that $1 million contract for this season. But what we're not going to do is help you expand your brand into other areas, because you do not represent the kind of investment we are looking to make. And you are not what I call the token black girl, which is what Kandi is. And I know I love Kandi, so I don't want Kandi to feel I'm trying to shade her, because I love Kandi Burris. I think she's a hustler. She's a businesswoman. And Kandi came correct. Kandi came correct when she came to Bravo. But Kandi had the advantage over Nene because Kandi already had a successful business. She already was a Grammy writing artist. She already was a producer. She already understood the business. So when Kandi walked into the room to negotiate her contract, when Kandi walked in the room to pitch her ideas, she had a team behind her who not only had proof of concept, but also had the ability to replicate it in a way that I'm almost certain Nene was unable to do. She did not have the infrastructure in place to pull off what Kandi was able to pull off in those meetings. And as a result, she suffered the consequences. So to narrow this down to racism is aggressive on Nene's part. And I'm not disregarding that they probably said some shady things to her. They probably dismissed her. Kim Zolciak was saying all kind of crazy stuff on the show. But Nene, when you were walking into court, the court in the jury boxes, they're gonna have one question for you. A few questions, not even one. Number one, did you raise these concerns? Number two, were these concerns addressed? Number three, did you continue to film with said person who you felt was creating a hostile work environment for you? Did you continue to film with this person? Did you? Did you willingly continue to show up every single day despite what was happening before you? Did you attempt to mitigate your losses? Did you approach them with alternative resolutions? Did you hire a lawyer early in the process to express your grievances in a way that would be taken seriously? Because just raising your hand to complain is not enough. And did you, Nene, there's documented proof, Nene, you advocated for Kim Zolciak to come back to Bravo as a show member, a cast member. You said, and I quote, while you think the girls are not going to take to Kim because Kim is an OG, you think that Kim is good for ratings. Kim is good for the show. So how are you advocating for the person you're accusing of being racist towards you? It doesn't make sense. Furthermore, you were on 8 consecutive seasons in which you negotiated and adamantly bragged about having the highest paid contract on that show for consecutive seasons running. You have the high, you cannot brag about the glory and be afraid of the guts. Now, the reason why Nene didn't get a spinoff, in my opinion, if I'm Bravo, the reason why Nene didn't get a spinoff is because there was no infrastructure to spin off on. The only intimate moment we got of Nene was Nene. Nene was the show. We don't know your family that well. Greg was just like barely on the show. Your kids were never involved in the show. Your businesses were not businessing the way they were supposed to business. So there was nothing. There was no meat for a spinoff. What are we spinning off? Kim Zolciak had went from being a mistress with some random guy, Mr. What would she call him? Mr. Big or something? I forget the guy's name. She went from being a mistress with some random guy to getting her a football player husband and having a boatload of kids. There was a show there. There was a show there. Let's call a thing, Nene. There was a show there. You didn't have the infrastructure. And I'm sure when you walked into that room, you didn't present it in a way that they said, okay, we got a concept here. Unlike Kandi, who I'm sure came correct. She came with, I want a spinoff show. This is what we're going to talk about. Here, I got the plot line. This is the story. Here, the supporting cast members. Here's what we're going to follow. I'm opening up a restaurant. I'm going to be doing this. I'm hosting a Broadway musical. I'm going to leverage my opportunities and exploit this network the way this network is exploiting me. And Nene didn't do that. What Nene did instead was take on other opportunities outside of the network. Glee, Broadway, The Apprentice. I mean, I'm sure Bravo is affiliated with these networks in some capacity, but you took other opportunities outside of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You did not want that to be the centerpiece of your identity. So when it benefited you, that is what you did. You got as far away from that black culture as you could. Glee, far away. The Apprentice, far away. Broadway, far away. Dancing with the Stars, far away. You wanted to assimilate into white culture. Nene, you wanted to be accepted as serious, as a serious actress, and I'm not faulting you for this. I'm just giving an unbiased perspective here. You wanted to be seen as a serious actress who could translate, who could cross over. You wanted to be the first reality TV star that could cross over out of reality television into mainstream TV with a recurring role on hit television networks and be taken seriously as an actress. And I don't fault you for it, and you did it. That's the thing, Nene. You did it. You actually got these spin-off shows. You actually got the new opportunities. So for you to come back to the network and say that they somehow limited you, when in fact they gave you a platform to stand on to order to get these other opportunities, it wasn't that they closed the door for you, Nene. They didn't close the door for you. They just said you can't come through this door, but look, we got a couple windows that we gonna lift up for you so you can go crawl on through and do what you got to do out there, because we, just because it's not for us doesn't mean we gonna stop you from getting it somewhere else. And I think Nene has to realize that. She has to realize what role she played. Why did you keep returning back if you felt it was so hostile and so racist? Why did you continue to go and watch What Happens Live and participate in this environment? Now, I guess she's grieving because she's lost her husband, and I emotionally empathize with Nene, and I wish her nothing but the best. But when it comes to having a case against racism, it's going to be an uphill battle for you because the data just doesn't suggest it. You went on to open up a lounge. You went on to do home shopping network with your own clothing line. Like, you had a lot of opportunities come out of Real Housewives of Atlanta, opportunities that I highly doubt you're going to be able to say, Andy stopped me from getting this. NBC stopped me from getting that. True Entertainment stopped me from getting that. You're not going to be able to. In fact, True Entertainment backed you when you wanted to do your Nene, like I Dream of Nene wedding special. True Entertainment, who was named in your lawsuit, backed you on that special as the co-production company. So how are you going there saying that they didn't want to see you win? They couldn't help you win the way you wanted to win, but it's very different. It's very different. And this is what I tell, because I do life coaching. If you guys are new to my channel, I do life coaching. I call myself a sister coach, and I coach women on getting out of their own way and how to build bigger, better, and braver. And one of the things I'm all about is transparency and honesty and just being real with the circumstances in front of you. And as a Black woman, when you are walking into white spaces, you need to be concerned about three very important things. Number one, having your ideas stolen. Number two, being seen as too aggressive. And number three, starting over. That is the three things that, as a Black woman, you need to be concerned about when you enter a white space. Number one is what Kandi did. Kandi, from the onset, protected her intellectual property and her ideas. When she realized she couldn't do Watch What Happens Live, what did Kandi do? She created Speak on It. Kandi protected her intellectual property. She gave Bravo enough of what they needed to get what they wanted, but she kept the good shit for herself. And that is what Nene failed to do. Nene had a knack for drama. Nene had a knack for identifying talent, for building a storyline, for reading people, for drumming up entertainment. Nene should have been doing what Kandi was doing before Kandi did it, because Nene was first. But sometimes it's not about who gets there first, it's about who gets there best. And she let Kandi get there better than her. And that is something she has to hold herself responsible for, not Bravo. When she wanted a spinoff show, she should have came up with a plot, a storyline, supporting cast, and she should have got that spinoff show. When Nene helped introduce Dwight and that other gay guy to the show, the heavyset one who was the hairstylist, when she started breaking all of those characters onto Real Housewives of Atlanta, Nene should have already been ahead. She should have already been thinking, let me do a YouTube series with these two people and drum up my own buzz. Nene had spots on daytime talk shows. Nene had spots. Nene got a lot of opportunities that spearheaded from this network, but she didn't leverage them the right way. She did not leverage her resources the right way, and she started to come off as too aggressive. And when you as a woman can't get what you want out of the network, you can't turn to aggression, name calling, scapegoating, and talking crazy about Andy Cohen. You can't turn to that to get what you want, because that does not work for Black women. That doesn't work for you. No matter how much you think it will, I promise you it won't. If you want to beat them at their own game, you got to play the goddamn part. You got to play your role. You got to play your position. You got to be dumb enough to be dangerous. And what I mean by that is, I don't care if you are the smartest person in the room. You never want to be number one. You never want to showcase just how intelligent you are. You got to leave a little bit of mystery so that they don't see you as a threat. You don't ever want them to see you coming. That is the secret weapon of every CEO and everybody who has ever done anything powerful in this world. Never let them see you coming. That is how you win. So, Nene, your aggression, your domineering, your all of that, they see you coming. Now they're on guard. They're defensive. They're like, well, can we give her a show? She liable to turn on us at any given moment. You got to play it cool and beat them at their own game. Take a page out of Kandi's book. She's beating Bravo at their own game, because while they're paying her a nice hefty check, she's collecting check after check after check after check with Old Lady Gang, Kandi and the Gang, her minstrel show. Lord have mercy. I said minstrel. Strike that from the record. Her show, her sex show that was on tour. Kandi is leveraging every opportunity that comes her way. And I'm sure when she signed her deal with Bravo, she was damn sure to make sure it wasn't a 360-degree contract that was going to tie her hands and feet so that she couldn't create competing ventures. Because nobody can tell me that Speak on It isn't a direct replication and or competition to Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. But yet Kandi was able to pull it off because she knows how to negotiate, and they never saw her coming. Nene played herself, and now you're trying to storm into the courtroom years later talking about racism and talking about discrimination in a hostile work environment, when, baby girl, you did 10 seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta. You are on record throwing a baby shower for somebody you are naming in your lawsuit. You helped pay for Andy Cohen's baby shower. You have committed that you are not only kind to this network, but that you see them as family. That is what you have done through your publicity, through your marketing, through your advocacy. You have tied yourself to their wagon as the face of the network. And now that you didn't get what you want, now that they've told you no, you want to turn on them. But it doesn't look good for you because the data just doesn't add up. They gave you 10 seasons. They negotiated with you heavily. You turned down the contract. They paid you $1 million for a few seasons. They got you into Dancing with the Stars and everything else. I'm sure your manager played a role, but it was those ratings on the Real Housewives of Atlanta that stood up on that resume, that jumped up off that page like that. They gave you a lot of opportunity, and they helped you leverage a lot of opportunity. And while you did the same thing for them, you couldn't give them something they didn't already have. And that's the one thing that I wish I could say to Nene, is that in order to have leverage in any situation, especially against a major corporation, you have to give them something they do not already have. And Nene couldn't do that. They had drama. After Real House of Atlanta took off, they got Miami, Potomac, Beverly Hills, New Jersey, this, that, and they in every city now. They're in every city, baby. You couldn't give them something they didn't already have. They already had the concept before they came to Atlanta. You couldn't give them something they didn't already have. If you wanted to meet these people face to face and really have the case, you would have had to bring them something so fresh, so original, and so groundbreaking that you were undeniable. And you failed to do that. So you got to take responsibility for that yourself. You do. And you talking about Kim Zolciak, She ain't named in your lawsuit. And Kim Zolciak is no longer employed by Bravo in terms of Real Housewives of Atlanta. She hadn't been on that show in a long time. So it's like, I mean, how you gonna play this? And did you or did you not say things about Kim that were inappropriate? It was honestly, it was a sparring between two people who disagreed with one another. You said damaging things about Kim. Kim said damaging things about you. And yes, Kim's were a little bit more racially charged, but you said a lot of nasty things about her as well that were also racially charged. So I don't think she has a case. I think Nene is barking up a wrong tree. And I think if she wanted to have a case, when Kim Zolciak went on and did that season when she was talking about the roaches and talking crazy in the bathroom and saying all that wild stuff, it was Nene's moment to strike at that very moment. If you wanted to have a case, you got to strike while the iron is hot. You can't wait until your star is burning down, and when you're about to run out of ideas and options and say that you blacklisted, now you want to come doubling back for a lawsuit. No, if you felt that energy in your chest, then where was that energy when you were on the show when it was first said? Where was the lawyer? Where was the cease and desist? Where was the I'm in the hostile working? Where was the energy? You waited too late. You're a day late and a dollar short, baby. A day late and a dollar short. And you can't brag about being the highest paid black woman and then turn around and say they racist. I mean, just mathematically, it doesn't make sense. Like just from you can say, oh, what are you gonna say? You're gonna go in court and say, well, they were paying me the most out of everybody, but I didn't like the fact that my next in line was only making $100,000 less than me per season. I didn't like that my next in line got her own spinoff show and I didn't. Well, then the court is going to say, well, what name the spinoffs you pitched? And then they're going to ask to see how Kandi came with her pitch. And they're going to compare and say, well, Kandi came with a pitch that looked like this. Nene came with a pitch that looked like that. We ran the test and we did the analytics and we decided to go with Kandi because hers was more sustainable and made more sense. And Nene, that's the network's choice to make. That's the network's choice to make. And they gave you a lot of opportunities, a lot of opportunities, a lot of opportunities. So it's very hard for you to say that they discriminated against you when their resume and their introductions and their support and you was on Real Housewives or Watch What Happens Live. How many times? You sat on that couch how many times? But you felt like you were under so much pressure and anxiety, Nene, it doesn't add up. So if you were going to build a case against them, you needed to build that case back in 2017. You needed to build that case while the iron was fresh and hot. You needed to build that case before you signed a contract to return as a supporting role or to take your peach back as a supporting cast. You're a day late and you're a dollar short. And so that's my opinion on what's going on with Nene Leakes. Let me know if you agree or disagree down below if she has a case. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Do not forget to like this live on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and turn your notification bell on. As this case moves to court, I will definitely be covering it the same way I'm covering the Blac Chyna and Kim Kardashian case. I love these celebrity hot topics and I'm interested to see if there's some news that's hidden behind the scenes that we do not know about as a general public. But my initial opinion is that Nene, you're a day late and a dollar short. I wish you all the best. You're always in my continued prayers for a safe recovery after the loss of your husband. And I wish you all the best. Thank you for tuning in, guys. This is actually It's a Mirror. Well, all my opinions are alleged and just my opinion because I do not know these people. Have a nice day, guys. Bye.